Guys, today we're working on a '03 Ford F-150. It's a King Ranch, beautiful little truck. We have a problem with the heater not blowing like it should. So it won't go to floor at all when you turn the fan up, and that just stays on defrost. It will switch to the panel, so that's good, and max works, but the floor is not working. And I think we've got it narrowed down to a controller problem. So we're going to pull that controller out and pull it apart. Apparently there's some O-rings that like to dry out in there, and it creates a vacuum leak. We're going to see what we can do with that, and we'll get you some pictures of it taken, or a video of it taken apart, and see what we find inside. This is a real pet peeve of mine. We got Torx head screws that are supposed to be in this thing, and somebody's been in here before, and I'm not really sure how hard it is to put the same screws back in the holes, but you can see that they got Robertson on one side and the Torx were on the other. I don't understand what happened here. Ridiculous. Okay guys, that's what she looks like when you're taken out. There's a couple of electrical plugs on the back, and then where the airlines go on, there's two little nuts that just kind of thread onto these plastic studs, and you can take those off, and then that thing comes out. So we'll get this tore apart, see what she looks like inside. Okay, so I just popped a couple screws out of the back side here, one on each side. This piece lifts off, and you have to undo that electrical connector right there. And now we're just removing the screws from these positions here on each of these little solenoids. We're going to pull that apart and check out the O-rings in there. Suspect one of those is no good. Alright, so here's the piece that we're going to go after for the O-rings. You have to, once you get those screws out and get this out of that housing there, slide this off of this tube. Inside this tube there's a spring and a little spring and a pop-up valve, so just make sure not to lose that stuff. And these go in only one way. Rubber tip goes in. Now we just dropped a piece on the floor here. So this sits in here, but that can come off, go in the bucket. Now these little tabs on the end, you want to straighten those out so you can slide this apart. So if you look at this one, they're bent over. I've straightened these out, so now you can slide this off. Okay, so we got that guy off, and then, oh sure. I should have a better bench for doing this, but I don't. Today, everything's full. Anyway, this is the piece we're looking for, and you can see the little O-ring on the end there. We're going to replace those O-rings, if that'll focus, and put her back together. Okay, we got a new O-ring on there, a little bit of white grease to lubricate it for when it slides back into this cavity. Using the second smallest ones we have there. Nice little stretch to go over, so it should fit really tight. And we do that 4 times, put this thing back together, and we'll see how she works. Okay, it's all back together. Got those 2 screws in the back there. We're going to put that air lines on first, and the 2 little nuts. Plug it in, And we'll give it a whirl here. We'll see what she does. Guys, got it all back together. Just so you know, this little trim panel just pulls off. Just get either your fingernails behind it or a little piece of plastic to pop the trim off. And we're going to fire this thing up now, see how she works. And we didn't have floor before, so we're going to try and see. And she's blowing tons of air on the floor now. So, easy fix. Those control units are over $500 to buy. Go to a wrecker, you're probably going to get the same thing. And for 4 little tiny O-rings and a little bit of time, pretty easy to repair that. And just so you know, that's the first time I've ever done one of those, so you can too.